Although the Nasdaq 100 is a skosh slower today, overall it has been a good recent run for most big cap tech names. In fact, 78 Nasdaq 100 stocks are up this quarter, with 9 of them up more than 20%. And so our next guest is removing his cautionary call on the Nasdaq. Let's bring in now Jonathan Krinsky, his chief market technician at Crest. Jonathan, welcome back. What are you seeing with the Nasdaq or the Nasdaq 100 from a macro level in particular right now?
Hey, Brian. So we were on with you guys November 4th, put on a tactical cautionary call on the NASDAQ. At that point, it just seemed things were a little bit overextended. We looked at some short-term metrics. The NASDAQ was about 7% above its 20-day moving average, which was about as extreme as we saw all year. And we just thought the risk was that, there'd be a little bit of a pullback or a pause that refreshes. And, we got about a 3% drawdown on the NASDAQ, which in this tape, it's not a big move for the NASDAQ, but given how strong it's been this year, it's tough to get much more than that. And I think what changed for us is last week, and you guys have been discussing this, in the face of that much higher than expected CPI, some higher rates, the NASDAQ showed some pretty good resiliency. And, we're getting another test today. Yields are back up again. NASDAQ is a bit lower. But I think at this point in the year, at this point in the calendar, you're kind of running out of runway to see that bigger drawdown. So we're just basically saying that, things have reset, things have kind of come in a little bit. I don't know that NASDAQ outperforms if yields keep going higher. We actually like some other areas of the market better, but I think the big risk of kind of that blow off move has been alleviated a little bit.
Joe, are you jumping in here or no? Okay, never. Joe's got a question. We'll get to him in just a second. Jonathan, okay, that is the macro tactical call. Semiconductors, maybe not. You're off a little bit on some of those, but there are names you still like. Let's talk about Applied Materials. Let's talk about Lam Research. A lot of our viewers would just buy the SMH or the SOX index and let it ride. I think your tactical point is saying you need to be more specific, even inside of groups. Or am I reading that wrong?
No, I think that's accurate. I mean, some of the ETFs tend to be very market cap dominated. So SMH is very heavily weighted towards names like NVIDIA, which has been an absolute massive performer, but I think it was up 50% from in the last month or so. So that, that's the type of action in the NASDAQ that does kind of concern us a little bit. But there's names, as you mentioned, AMAT, LRCX, that have basically just started to creep out of these 6-month bases. And we think those offer much more timely and much more attractive entry points as opposed to the broad-based ETF here.